is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. It should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is September 11th and Friday. We got some important CPI, it's CPI, but important inflation numbers coming up here today. And let's go to the charts. Yesterday was, whew. Okay, so here again, on Wednesday we started down, but we ended up having a pretty positive day. Yesterday kind of turned over early on, but then the margin calls came, right? So that's about 12:30 my time. It's really 2:30 Eastern time is when the margin calls come. And I was actually watching the story, David Portnoy. That was when he said, "Okay, I'm gonna have to." Oh, I got a mosquito in here. Hold on. Come here, buddy. Did I get it? I don't think I got it. Anyways, hey James, how's it going? All right. So, anyways, a lot of retail puking into the close. When you see stuff like that, that is not a good sign, all right? Because that means people are trying to buy the dip and failing. And I mean, come on, if this thing decides to take another step down, we're trading pretty massive ranges here, though, so it's totally still possible that we somehow pull this out. Okay. Treasuries modestly higher after selling yesterday. But we'll see where they go, where that inflation number is. They look like they're kind of waiting. We're going to get this inflation data, and I think that we could get a decent move in treasuries today. So we'll see what they do. Oil took, a little bit of a hit yesterday, but mostly just kind of distributing and balancing out after the huge rout earlier in the week. Gold continues to be lackluster. Oh, gold. Copper took a bit of a hit yesterday as well. Some significant selling over in the Asian markets. Overnight, though, recovering that. So, okay, well, sorry about that. We're back. YouTube just decided to die for no reason. That's okay. I'd rather have it happen earlier in the session. Okay, so another thing I want to do is come over here and look at the footprints. So when we come over here and we look at like late yesterday, okay, and how many contracts were hitting in here when we came down, you notice that it's moving on not a lot of volume. So I think that we typically interpret that as like really, that move isn't going to last because, I mean, there was this distribution at the end of the day. But my take on it is that bids are just pulling out of the way. Is the way that I'm looking at that. So people got margin calls, they had to dump, and there was nobody there to sit it. So this time, buy the dip did not happen. We usually see buy the dip. It did not happen. Really anywhere yesterday. I mean, well, you know what, though? We are having the contract rollover, so that's probably a significant part of it, though, huh? But normally we would see like 10K at some of those levels, right? So, pretty interesting. Otherwise, so I'm gonna just minimize everything here. I'm gonna try and I don't know. Do oil here and the 6J here. And where is my dollar? Gold. This ES chart's not really useful to me right now. There we go. Euro. Dollar index still, well, they're holding 93.19, and the dollar index is overall higher from that route yesterday. So pretty bearish. That's a bearish sign, basically. And we're kind of like positioning wise, we're like right in the middle. So, and what about in the treasuries? The treasuries are slightly bearish, so they're probably expecting a high inflation number. We'll see what happens here. ECB's Lane says some corporate fear is needed. A little bit of good old creative capitalist destruction. Okay, that's a little. That's a little. Okay, 0.4 versus the expected spot 3. So that is a significant difference. Mixed reaction to the news. The core inflation rate month over month, though, is spot 4 versus an estimated spot 2 in a previous reading of spot 6. Overall, though, so at the moment, the treasuries are moving up. It looks to me like they were expecting a higher than anticipated inflation number, and they got it, but it wasn't significant, and so they took profits. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Now, interestingly enough, the E-mini is kind of trending down here a little bit, and they're just kind of sitting on the edge of the seller's number, I guess you could say. Somebody trying to shove it over the edge there. I think it'll take a little bit more than that, though. Rooftop solar withered when wildfire smoke blotted out the sun in California. That's, yeah. Very interesting. That's interesting to me because it's like, will that have an effect on what people think about solar power going forward? Gold there. Let's see here. 6J like that. I'm trying my best to make do while I don't have a monitor here, all right? Well, that monitor is dead. I should just take it down. I'm tempted to like think around with it and try and get it to work again, but I know that it just won't work. I am seeing a slight bit of strengthening in the dollar index. Interesting. They're absorbing up at the highs in the treasuries. This the setup at the moment, I find it a little disconcerting actually. Like that's pretty negative. Um, it's really hard to just hit into that. Oh, liquidity is okay. Uh, they're definitely the risk off is definitely there in the treasuries, right? Because we had higher than expected inflation and they just didn't really react logically at all and they started bidding up and I think that and then the E-mini started its a sell move. Pretty aggressive one. I'm like really hesitant to just go in on it, but I do see a bit of profit taking there. Well, actually, interestingly enough, some profit taking on that last move down, but then some shorts adding on this way back up again. What about gold? Gold moving down too. Yeah, I think that gold is important. So it's not a ton. It's about $5 in gold. $5 down after higher than expected inflation. So higher than expected inflation, you'd expect gold to move up, right? In treasuries moving up, you would expect gold to move up, but it's not. Gold is moving down. So here again, it appears that gold continues to behave as a risk asset and gets dumped with all of the other risk assets. Okay, so there was a strong pushback there. They could get all the way down to 33, 35. But I'm not a huge fan of the location for an entry at the moment. I think that I missed the trade. Maybe that would be an okay spot. Flight canceled due to argument over children wearing face masks. Good grief. You know what? I'm sure my wife must be happy that she doesn't have to be working right now as a flight attendant. I'm sure that when she starts working again, and I don't know when that'll be, but I'm sure that when she starts working again, that there will be interesting stories. Yeah, see, they're trying to pull that one out. The treasuries, them moving treasuries is pretty significant. Let's come back over here to this. Okay, so the high is 16 and 20. Well, I see some orders sitting there up at 16. So I guess even though it's been a pretty decent move up, that it's not quite to like, oh my gosh, crazy. The treasuries are having a huge move, right? By the way, is the stream all good now, or having? I don't know what the deal was with losing the connection getting reset, but Zero hedge. The price index used for cars and trucks increased 5.4% in August, most since March 1969. The index for household furnishings and operations increased 0.9%, the most since February of 1991. Nicola refutes Hindenburg report, or Heidenberg. Heidenberg report says it has nothing to hide. So if you're not familiar with what that is, yesterday a short seller put out a report basically saying that Nikola is a big scam. And I didn't read the report itself, but I read the reporting on it. It sounded compelling. I've always been skeptical of the Nikola stock. I hope that they're down big time. That might be an instance where they halt the stock. So rent inflation slowed, says Zero Hedge. Wow. Still some people here in Utah without power. They fix things for me, but not for everybody. Okay. Treasury's trying to get above that 15, but they're struggling. They're getting some volume in there now. Seems like the average position for the sellers has come down here, so that kind of puts us back into neutral-ish territory. Blow my nose here. Okay, so 40% of the CPI increase was due to record surge in used car prices. That's important. Oh my gosh, I don't know who this guy is, but I see some Twitter recommended a tweet to me. It's this guy, John W.B. Rich exec. So he must be somebody important. He looks old, but he says if Nikola Tesla were alive today, he would definitely be shorting both companies. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Thank you. You know what? You deserve a follow. I don't know who you are, but you deserve a follow, buddy. Never used the computer. Follow my news account. Oh man. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think I need to restart my. Let's see here. Oh no, it says we're getting them. I'm not getting any chat in. I'm like, is it okay? We'll test it this way. Maybe you guys are just really quiet today. The stream kind of died.
Speculator Sept Day Trading says test.
It works. Y'all just trading. It's cool.
Stephen Wright says used car prices surge. How come?
Well, because people got a lot of money from the government, and I guess a lot of them used it to go and buy a car. I was thinking about buying a car myself until I saw that they weren't really giving good deals on cars, and so I decided I would wait. Gary Rich says
used cars prices have increased due to demand for new cars is low.
demand for new cars is low. I think that a lot of people wouldn't use that stimulus to go and upgrade their car, right? I mean, I seriously thought about doing it.
Stephen Wright says makes sense.
Well, we need to go and do a little bit of stock investigation today. I don't know if we're going to get any really good trades, and I'm always really hesitant to take trades on Fridays. Even though today could be a down day and we could get a good short today, but there's a couple of individual stocks that actually interest me more. So one that really interests me today is Rio Tinto. So apparently their CEO is resigning because the company destroyed some indigenous religious sites or something of that nature. And yeah, I'm interested to see because they're I don't know if that's one that I really want to invest in per se, but it is on my radar, and I'm wondering if they're going to be down today. And if they are down today, if it would present a good opportunity to pick it up. Although I don't think that I want that one, but I think it would be an instructive thing to watch. See how the market reacts when a CEO resigns like that. How do I want to do this? Rio Tinto. I have to search for it up here. Rio Tinto is just RIO. I guess I had it right. Okay, so it's not showing me pre-market prices, but they closed yesterday at 60.88. So we'll see where they come. Tesla and pre-market. We need to zoom out here. So yesterday they kind of tried to move up and then they gave most of that up, but they're still basically up where they were. Like it doesn't look to me like the Tesla
Gary Rich says a
guys
report
are
came out in
giving in.
2016 about subprime car loans would see greater defaults in time. CarCuz tried to mitigate this by exchange used for new and the loans stay the same. Just pulling forward demand.
Okay. That makes sense. But I mean, the bigger thing here is that the higher than expected inflation was due primarily to cars. That's something that's that's most likely transitory. Ergo, the higher than expected print is not really what it may seem. Hence, the move up in treasuries is not all that odd, right? Well, there they took a step up at 15. It's not the first time they've touched 15 half in the 10-year. Nobody's biting at the moment. Very interesting trade there in the 10-year. I don't know if they're going to go through or not. I don't know. The market certainly seems to be acting like they could do significant things today, right? Do we have other news? Let's see here. Let's just make sure that I got all my ducks in a row here. Balance of trade, Baker Hughes. What is the WASDE report? Oh, there's some auctions today too.
Sunday driver says test.
There you go. Hi, Sunday. WASDE report doesn't say. I have search. Never heard of that one. Never noticed that one. World agricultural supply and demand estimates. Oh, that would be important. Ooh, do you think that could tell us something about what's going on in China? Because I hear that they're hoarding all sorts of commodities over there. Okay, so we keep an eye on that. That's not until 10 o'clock today. Oh yeah, we're going to get the moment of silence.
Sunday driver says invest in night vision companies.
In night vision companies? Is there really a good night vision company? That sounds like another one of those ones where it's like it's an interesting investing proposition, but it's really hard to find a good company. It's kind of like like with the rare earth resources. It's like I think it's an interesting investment proposition, but the payoff on it is maybe really, really far away, right? And who do you invest in? There's not like a really easy name that benefits from it. They're all like penny stocks and stuff. Okay, so let's minimize this since it's not too useful at the moment. Oil's still dropping here. E-mini came back to the seller's cost basis and is just kind of floating here. So I don't know. Can't really say what it's going to do. And they're dancing around the moving averages a lot. So that's pretty unclear action to me. Oh, we should switch this. And Q is...
Sunday driver says tactics gear is increasingly difficult to find. A scope for my rifle won't be delivered until November.
Oh. Oh, and people are having trouble finding ammo. I'm seeing all sorts of videos of people making their own ammo. The marketeer tweets, stuff becoming more flash crashy. We have seen violent moves to the downside in several assets over the past weeks. NASDAQ and Bitcoin most recently, and gold in August. Hard to hedge as they come suddenly, but always have some low delta puts just in case. But were they truly flash crashes? I tell you, one of the things I find interesting about this market, and it is a little hard for us to read in the equities, but it doesn't look to me like the liquidity in the equities is disappearing. The liquidity in the treasuries certainly isn't disappearing. We're still in the healthy range. I think that they're doing just fine. This kind of goes back to this other thing that we haven't talked about, but yesterday there was a report out showing that the Federal Reserve hadn't bought any bond ETFs in the last month, suggesting that they too think that prices are too high and have backed off on their monetary stimulus, but they haven't said anything about it. But there was quite a sell-off after that yesterday. You know, and the Brexit headlines was a big part of it too. And when the Senate was voting, that was a big part of it. And I don't know. It was just a huge confluence of a lot of negative stories yesterday. Nicola offers 5-paragraph response to Heidenberg research report and threatens legal action. Yeah, would you expect anything less? Honestly? Could you expect anything less? Twitter says it will remove any tweets claiming victory before election results have been certified. Fine. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of people freaking out about that one. I don't know why Zero Edge is tweeting about that now, but I've seen a lot of people freaking out about that one. I don't know if it's really as big of a deal. If we're saying it, we have to wait for them to be certified. Okay, fine.
Sunday driver says they need to get out of all of it and let the free market find its own level.
Yeah, well, if the financial system, if money is moving freely, then yeah, why not? Maybe that's why they did it, though. Maybe they said, well, okay, our support is not needed at this time, and we'll just let them come back to evaluation. They continue to say we don't target any specific level, and they're saying all that. And every time they say it, I think people kind of chuckle. But maybe they're serious. Maybe they really just don't care what the market did. And they're really just looking at what the liquidity levels are and everything. I have this USB box that switches between my desktop and my laptop, and sometimes it will switch on its own. I have to remember to unplug it.
Sunday Driver says Twitter is being stupid since networks project winners of states all the time during election night.
Yeah, so like, are we not going to be allowed to project a winner in a race on election night? I don't know. So the thing that people on the right are saying is that they're setting it all up so that you won't be able to know what's going on, so that they can say, oh, well, we don't have the election results right now. Let us, come up with some more ballots and steal the election and not let anybody speak up about it as it's happening. That's what they all say is happening. I don't know.
Yuri says evening, any idea about gold?
Well, gold continues to act like a risk asset and doesn't really go anywhere. They sold off after that CPI number. I don't know if that should really affect gold though, because I think we kind of determined that when you exclude the autos, that it's actually pretty much exactly in line with what we'd expect. So I don't know. I don't know. The street tweets. If you checked your Twitter feed on Thursday, you may have noticed that the term cancel Netflix was trending. Not anymore. They removed it. I tell you, I don't like Twitter. I use Twitter, but I've always hated them as a company. Even long before all this. I remember, it must have been 2008. And when microblogging became a thing, and there was a lot of people trying to become the next Twitter. And I always thought, that they should, I didn't like them, that they were too idealistic. Or, well, not idealistic. They were too heavily involved in their ideology. Like, the thing that bothered me at that time.
Speculator Sept Day Trading says test.
No. Had to restart the text to speech. And it was about to reread everything. No, I remember like all of their community managers and everything were promoting stuff that I just didn't agree with.
Lobo Trader says good morning Seth. Good morning
Hey,
team.
how are you?
I clicked the thumbs up. Makes it 4 likes winking face.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we had the stream kind of died out on us early on. Okay. Interesting. Are we connected again? Okay. It looks like I'm reconnected. I'm wondering if I'm having an issue with my router, because when that died down, you're back. Okay, cool. Yeah. When that died down, I couldn't get into the router. Okay. So let's see if I can get into like logs. Hmm. $5.59. Oh, I'm getting DOSed. Somebody doesn't like me. Apparently. Apparently somebody doesn't like me, guys. It's okay. But then new lease, error parsing, blah 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 blah. Okay. Oh, look, here's somebody having the exact same issue. Okay, so they're saying that's probably false positive.
Mario Simonetti says, what were your last 2 trades? And why did you made them?
Well, so the last 2 serious trades that I made, I would say it would have to be Tuesday. I haven't been taking live trades because issues. And obviously if my router is dying here, I'm definitely not going to be taking a live trade, am I? But let's see, it was Tuesday. And it was because I knew that we were likely to have a gamma crash, and I started to see it rolling over, so I jumped on. So that would be the last one. And yeah, I haven't made one today. I had another good one yesterday, but that one was sim. Kind of a well, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. And that one again, I knew the news was happening. I wasn't completely aware of what it was, but it was kind of like they had been hovering there and they turned over, so I took it. But that one was kind of more like I was aware that a negative news catalyst was possible, and I started to see the action confirming that, so I took it. 443. That's the HTTPS port. Okay, so let's see who this is. That's Verizon. Oh, somebody's at my door. We'll see. Just the kids. I forgot that they were coming back today. Early. What's this one? Invest in some Cat 8. Well, that would be way above what I would be able to use. I do have some good cable in there. I do have Cat 6. It is shielded. And I can certainly rewire it very easily if we ever need to. At least it should be able to rewire it really easily. There is like one bend, but I could always just, cut a hole in the wall there.
Mario Simonetti says, is that an order book? If yes,
Yeah.
what software platform do you use? Do you look at level 2 order book?
So if you're not too familiar with futures, you get full level 2 quotes with futures, so I can see how many limit orders there are at every price, as opposed to like level 2 in stocks where it just tells you the quotes from the different market makers. So I see every price. The DOM comes from Jigsaw. Jigsaw Day Trader is the name of the software. I have a video on my channel called What is the Best Futures Trading Software Platform? And I talk about what I use and why I use it. I do have an affiliate link for Jigsaw, so if you decide to buy it, you use that affiliate link. It helps the channel out. I also use Ninja Trader 8, so I kind of have them connected into each other. But yes, I very much watch the order book, and there's a couple of reasons why I've gone over this so many times. I have another video about trading on the DOM where I kind of talk about this a little bit too, but the main thing is I want to be able to see where the money is coming from and the DOM allows me to do that most effectively. I can see how many orders it took to clear each price, and I can kind of reset it whenever I want to, so that I can watch all of these different instruments and see how they've changed. If I wasn't streaming, I think I would actually have even more open, to be honest with you. Like I wouldn't mind having one open for oil and one for gold and this and that, so that I can just kind of watch all of the major markets. I wish that you'd get reliable data for like the euro too, but you can see order flow for the euro FX, but it's not really, that's a much more segmented market, so it's not as useful for it. Anyways, I really like that I can sit here and I know what's moved. I can have my eyes just like right here, and I can kind of see when something is moving out of the corner of my eye, and I can see, okay, this was the last time I touched it and it's down. That's really effective. And then I can look at the volume. So when I'm actually trying to place an order, I have a much better idea about which prices I can actually get filled on. If I can actually risk a limit order, or if I should just hit into it. And then if I do decide that I need to just hit into it, I can do so like at the exact right moment to give myself the best chance of catching the edge. So in fast action, I really think that the DOM is your best order entry tool, because you can kind of chase it around where it's really hard to do that on a chart. So that's the main thing that I use it for. I use Cat 8 and I have no problem. My other cables were a problem. I think they were Cat 6. I'm pretty sure that mine are Cat 6. Maybe they're 7. They're shielded, so they have the tinfoil in them and all that. Anyways. Yeah, something definitely. Let's see here. need to come back in here. Think about my internet here again. Well, it has port scan and DOS protection, but it didn't really do anything. It could be possible that I just, well, I don't know. It could be a number of things. See, I don't really have anything set up that would even allow that to even do a thing. Your stream does make a lot of weird Windows noises. Every once in a while, what'll happen is with the I have a hub, a USB hub that allows me to switch between my laptop and my desktop, and sometimes that will switch on its own, and then you hear that do-do-do-do. So yeah. It looks to me like when that happened though, that the whole, like, I couldn't even connect to the router, like, even though the router doesn't say that it died, but may just be a little unstable and need to be reset after having the whole power outage and all that. Yeah. There's no way you need Cat 8 cables. Brad says, thank you for explaining this stuff. I know people talk about the order book. I have no clue how to read it. Yeah, well, so let me tell you here's what I think is the real key. The key that I don't think that people necessarily talk about, but this is lesson 1 on the order book. Say I want to take a trade here in the 10-year. Let's use the 10-year because it's the slowest and the thickest. All right. Let's say I want to buy. What should I do? Okay. Well, we're at the high of the day, so that's one thing you want to consider, right? It's not necessarily a good risk-reward location to buy. Okay. But I could have just bought there at 16, right? It came down for a second. There was only, right? I could potentially buy into that. And I have a pretty good chance that it's going to tick back up, right? At 16. Because I know that it just barely went and there's only a few hundred there, right? So if I buy into that, I might catch the edge. Okay, so now I'm long 16. That's called catching the edge, right? So if I wanted to get out, I could get out. And catching the edge is a big deal, right? Because if I was hit in at 16.5 and then I decided I didn't want it anymore, I'm one tick down basically. I start one tick down, right? So if you don't catch the edge, then the probability on your trades is already less than 50-50. We always think, oh, well, it's a 50-50 proposition. Not with the spread. The spread makes it more like a 40-45% proposition, right? So catching that edge can really, really help. Okay. Now, if I wanted to buy, okay, I might have to put a limit order at 16, right? So there's 1846 ahead of me. Would I get filled at 16? I think you have a pretty good chance because since there's this big order here, it wouldn't be unusual to see 3,000 trade here before anybody even really starts thinking about hitting into 16.5. You notice hardly anybody's hit into 16.5, even though there is a lot of people waiting to get filled there. So it may be worth it. Okay, so in that case, you would have got filled at 16, right? And that's the main game. And then at some point, there will be a point at which, okay, there's no way that I'm going to get filled at 16 anymore. Too much volume is traded there, and people are starting to trade into 16.5. So then maybe I want to hit into 16.5. How do I want to do that? Well, okay, let's switch the situation around. Say I want to sell it now. Should I hit into 15.5 or should I put a limit order at 16? Well, I personally might be getting a little anxious about this. Like they just ticked down. There might not be a lot of people looking to buy anymore. I might not get filled at 16. So I might try and hit into it at 15.5 again, right? Now, if I hit into it at the moment, I'm just going to hit into it, and I'm probably not going to catch the edge yet, right? So I might want to wait. I might want to wait until it's a little bit lower. So this is where I might put an automated order in, right? So I can come in here and I can say stop limit. If it gets below 200, then I'll take it, right? I'll show you how that works for fun on the experimental account. Okay, so now that flipped back around, right? This one is bigger than this one. They're actually fairly equal, right? So that's kind of how the calculus changes. It comes down to what are your chances of getting filled at a price based on how many orders are there, and comparing how many orders are on the bid compared to how many orders are on the ask. And that's really the most basic part of it. But like that alone, like right now there's 23 bid and there's 1,700 offer, right? That means it would take less orders theoretically to make it go bid than it would to make it go offer, right? Unless there's an iceberg there. And then that's the next complexity is you want to see how many it actually did take to trade through a price, right? So that's kind of the game, and there's an edge just in that based off of that math. But then there's all sorts of patterns, and you can try and trade the patterns, but I really haven't had a whole lot of success with that because, I mean, they're trying to fool you, they're trying to trip you up. So you got to be a little bit careful about reading too much into what you see in the order book. You know what I mean? But that just kind of shows you where those opportunities are. But I'm using it from the perspective of I kind of already know what I want to do, right? Because I know there's a fundamental news catalyst or what the overall sentiment of the day is, whether I want to buy or sell, right? And so I don't use the level 2 for an entry unless I see something really unusual that alerts me that maybe I need to look around and see because something's going on, right? Have you reconsidered my Extreme Trade Friday stream idea where you make high risk leveraged trades that make you uncomfortable on stream? I don't think I'll ever do that. I mean, I could do them on sim accounts, but the problem I've been having with sim accounts is I want to go back and look at my performance, but sometimes I forget to switch between them, and then the results aren't really very good. I can't really look back on that data and analyze it because I know that, okay, this one was messing around or whatever. And then you get into that whole thing where you say, well, actually, when I took that, I probably was serious, but then afterwards I'm saying that I'm messing around to protect my ego or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, sometimes it do be like that. Would you trade through a huge market order and big limit wall in front of you? Well, so especially in the E-mini, if I saw that there was a really big order and I was overall bullish, I would totally hit into it. Yeah, because that's a good, I know that I'm going to get filled there. And what often happens with those is once you get through the wall, there's like a surge in demand, and so you can often get a little bit of a run just on that. Especially in the E-mini. I've noticed that in the E-mini, if there's like a big iceberg or a big order and they get through it, then they get real excited about it. QQ says, I think a market order is greater than a limit order. That I would disagree with that, QQ. So there's a positive and a minus to anything, right? So the positive to the market order is that you get in right away. Okay. And you get to be the aggressor. Okay. Which means, you're kind of in control. You're the one that's initiating. And so if you're clicking through and you're catching the edge with a market order that means that at the moment, the market ordered flow is in your favor. Okay, so that gives you a slightly better percentage chance of winning. Okay. The disadvantage to the market order is that you're giving up the spread. One. They're already a platform where traders do outrageous trades and everybody are legend level traders. For sure. No, sim account real trades that put your house and well-being at risk? Hell no. Not a chance. I don't know why people get freaked out over icebergs. To me, it is showing liquidity and where they will likely raid and rotate. Yeah, I don't know. I've found that an iceberg alone to be an incredibly unreliable indicator of anything. And sometimes you will just see icebergs literally everywhere and who knows what's going on, you know? Are you talking about you only get in with one order, brother? Why wouldn't you get filled? No. So the advantage of the market order is you're the aggressor, okay? And so on the split side of that, the disadvantage to the limit order is the adverse excursion thing, right? If you get filled, then that means that there was some order flow, market orders coming in against you. And so that kind of decreases your advantage, but you're catching the spread. If you're using a limit order, you're getting one tick more, right? There's been a couple of studies on this, and what they have found is that as a market maker, it is really hard to get out to really get for all of the numbers to work out and for your winners to be large enough and everything, that actually giving up that spread and like giving up at 2 ticks or more on every trade is actually a lot more detrimental than you would think. But then there's that adverse excursion thing, right? So if you're going to take it with a limit order, you really better have a good reason for why you're taking the trade there, right? To me, icebergs are showing where the participants are trying to find balance. I mean, it could be. The issue with it, just on a scalping perspective with an iceberg, the issue with an iceberg is you have no clue why they're doing it. They could be taking an ice, like let's say, like this is a good example right here in the 5-year. 26010, 5,328 traded on the bid. That's a bid side iceberg, and they got through it. Now you notice that in the treasury they get through it and nothing has happened yet. Okay, so what is the trade-off of the iceberg being there? Is it long or is it short? And you don't really know, just based off of the iceberg alone, do you? Right? Because was somebody buying 5,000 contracts on the expectation that they're going to go and break the high and it's going to go further? It's possible. In this situation, it's probably more likely to be somebody that was short and exiting the trade because of that risk, right? So it could be a market maker offloading and trying to reset their position. It could be somebody doing a spread trade or an options trade, and who knows if they're getting into or out of a trade or what, right? We don't know why they're doing it. So how can we really form a solid trade based purely on the existence of the iceberg? I don't think you can. Now, if you have a better idea about what's going on, like let's say that the stock market, it was really starting to get crazy, and I see some bad news on the squawk, and it's going full risk off, and we're getting a pretty solid pace of the tape, and then I see an iceberg like that, then I'm thinking, oh yeah, they're reloading to hit into the high, and I can take that, join the iceberg, buy at 010, and look for them to pull the offers at 12 or 01 quarter and 01 half for them to pull it up, right? But I don't think that just the existence of the iceberg itself that I can take a trade off of that. I've tried that. I've done a lot of research about that, actually, like tracking them and stuff, and I couldn't find any usable pattern to it. If anything, that the pattern was to Gary Rich's point there, that it's showing where participants are trying to find balance. I've often found that when you get icebergs, that it can be hard to move away from that area. Don't you allow slippage for each side of a buy or sell? I'm not sure what you mean, Gary. Yeah, that's why I call it balance. The participants are placing orders to participate around areas or levels of future expected moves. What do you think about mispricing? What do you mean? I mean, I think that the market misprices stuff all the time. Because I'm always thinking, where is there is somewhere that the market seems to have mispriced or has gotten wrong, and will cause a future move because of it. I'm always thinking that. So when I'm taking an order, I want to get in before, right? I'm getting in because I expect a move to happen in the future, not instead of following people. Allowing for slippage makes sense. I'm still not sure what you mean by slippage and like the context of what. I have like the only time that I really think about slippage is like I have a stop order. There's a pretty good chance in the 10-year that I'll lose a tick below where my stop is, especially if I put it in as a volume stop. Maybe you were saying when I was saying that giving up those 2 ticks on with using market orders instead of limit orders can really change your stats. Yeah. And having the slippage when you get stopped out, that will really mess up your stats too. I mean, like, the harder for you to get filled, the more mispriced the market is, the more market is going to be predictable in terms of direction. I mean, I don't know. There's definitely something to this thing that like you take a limit order and you get filled a little bit too easily. Like as soon as you put it in, you're filled. That's like, oh, and there was no iceberg behind me. It's bid. Yeah, I'll often panic and just get out right then and there because I don't like how I got filled. The adverse excursion thing, it's a real conundrum, right? I don't know for the kind of trading that we do. It's really hard to use it to your advantage. You know what I mean? The thing is if you can put on a lot of risk, then hey, adverse excursion, that's great. I know that they're going to, I think that ultimately they're going to move up. I could put a bunch of limit orders here. Oops. I have to put a motto, put a bunch of limit orders here. Oh, sure. Excurs against me because I would like to have all 4 of these filled if I can. Because I can afford the risk. And then if it goes through that and it goes 4 ticks more, I'm okay because I know that ultimately they're probably going to come back out and I can still make a profit. But if I'm just taking one trade and I'm trying to hold it within 4 ticks, then it becomes a real problem, right? Because if I bought it at 15.5, what are the chances that they go 4 ticks against me? Actually pretty high, right? Oh, you're talking about backtesting. When you put a trade on, always allow slippage of X ticks, points, cents, etc. Example, if you go for 5 ticks backtest with 2 or 3 ticks of slippage, meaning you need 7 or 8 ticks to keep 5. Sure. I don't think that you need to account for 2 or 3 ticks of slippage, but I would say that on average you'd get about 1. And if you're backtesting it to make sure you're profitable, you want to give yourself a tick of slippage, sure. Especially, I mean, it's maybe not a huge deal in the E-mini, but in the 10-year, it's definitely a problem. Because you'll notice that when they get going, they will stack big ones so that even if some backwash comes in, they can't make that price go. If we're really having a strong up move, they're going to put that 17 on there, and that's never going to break. Okay, so here's the open. Oh, I forgot that we were having, that was a moment of silence, guys, and I'm yapping. So there's the open. I guess it's not resetting the profile. Let me fix this. See me indexes. MES. See me indexes. Okay. Better. Anyways, going back to what prompted this whole discussion, reading the level 2 is not as complicated as we make it out to be, right? Because the basic rules of the game are pretty simple. Of course, you get into a bunch of patterns and things like that, you can get all sorts of complicated stuff going, but then you kind of have to ask yourself, do those patterns really actually provide edge or not? And it's really hard to definitively prove that. You're talking about something that you really have to watch over a really solid period of time. I've never been able to find one that was consistent enough for me to really feel confident in continuing to trade. So I feel that news, fundamentals, global money flow is far more predictive. So okay, so they had an okay drive there on the open, but they're kind of sullen here a little bit. So let's see here. 46 was the open. I don't know why. Well, because I reset it, it didn't tell it to me, but we're going to say that 46 was actually 46.75, but okay, fine, we'll do it. I think it was there. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so there's bears trying short here. So my wife was just outside the door yelling at the top of her lungs at a child upstairs, and it didn't trigger the mic, so that's good, right? Okay. Well, my router hasn't dropped my connection, so I'm wondering if maybe it was just a transitory fluke watch. If I take a trade, then it will start to do it. Okay, so they're trying to sell it here. You can never easily find good Pop Tarts at cheaper price unless they have expired. I guess I should turn on the auto text to speech so I can keep my eyes over here, huh?
Salim L. Weathering says or they are on sale, and people will buy them before you.
Well, you need to go to Costco. Okay. Feeling kind of tense here. I mean, it looks like some selling here, but I'm still a little bit wary about trying to go with the momentum on this open drive here. I might regret saying that, but I mean, I certainly could have sold it when they came back through here. That would have been a good trade, but that actually looks a little bit like some buy the dip action, perhaps. Yeah. Hmm. Ugh. That's a little wild. I think I can get filled still. And they're kind of developing a little bit of a range here, so it might still be a little iffy, but I think they can come up into me. Hmm? Probably leaving myself a little too open for chance here, huh? Yeah. Oh my. A lot of volume there now. That was a little more. That was a dramatic. Now they're probably going to stop me out now, huh? Yeah. By the way, where are we at? Okay. So 33 is Queen IC. I honestly might try that again just because I do see uh, right right there. Okay. Um okay, that's okay. I do see this kind of like um
Sunday
this
driver says just dropped the biggest dookie of my life. A real wild cat. Toilet handled it like a champ. I never want to move from my apartment. This new place is great.
I'm all trying to think how to say this and then he becomes No, it looks to me like the sellers are trying really hard there and that they probably don't have enough fuel to push it much further. Um, I might be speaking too early, but okay, so something going on there at 38. Pushing through him a little bit. Okay, let's move that up a bit. Reset right here. Okay.
Gary Rich says something to ponder or dwell. In a nuclear explosion, who will survive, Pop-Tarts or Twinkies? I know cockroaches will, but they taste like crap.
Aren't they say that Twinkies would? I don't know. I want to do some research on that. Twinkies already has the zombie apocalypse, so maybe Pop-Tart should be a nuclear fallout thing. To be fair, can't let Twinkies have all the glory, you know.
Brad Messerl says Twinkies better. Don't like Pop-Tarts.
You know, I don't really like Pop-Tarts either, but I cannot deny the utility of them. Okay, well. Move that up there. They're trying to pull that out again. If they do it this time, I think it could go, but yeah. Let's do that. We can kind of judge a little better.
Sunday driver says
The
load up on number
utility of
10
a
cans of
Pop-Tart?
food.
Salim L. Wuthering says that was the most robot answer I have ever heard. Alien confirmed.
I think the advantage that Pop-Tarts has is that everybody knows that Twinkies are bad for you. I think everybody also kind of intuitively knows that Pop-Tarts are bad for you, but it's marketed as breakfast, so it's not marketed as a dessert like a Twinkie is, you know? Okay, well.
Uzi Knesset says Twink-Tarts.
Twink-Tarts. That's what I'm gonna be thinking about this weekend now is can you make a Twink-Tart? Oh my gosh. I didn't tell my kids that one. I think they'll be excited about it. I should have taken that one off of the 20. So here again, I think I'm trading in an area where my probability is a little sketch.
Uzi Knesset says one comment and I got you.
Dude, Twink-Tarts.
Gary Rich says Ready Whip is bad for you, but that nitrous is fun.
So is it just take a
Uzi
Pop-Tart
Knesset
and
says now you'll dream about fucking Twink-Tarts.
take the filling out of a Twinkie and put it on a Pop-Tart? Would that be... That's the best I can think of. All right, so now they're definitely...
Salim L. Wuthering says at UCI Knesset, when are we trading live in front of Seth? Let's bet on it and give Seth the money to judge.
No, you just trade it, and if the reward will be that you make money on your trading. Why do that?
MISS says ha ha ha. Live Action says at Gary Rich giving trade entry room is interesting topic. It's great if you can get in on a tick, scratch and go, but often I find levels nebulous. At times a backup plan works for me. Uzi Knesset says at Salim L. Wuthering, you still on that? Lol.
That's a little better. And they're going to come over to this profile spot too, the 42. Ah, it's good. It's good. It's good. I think 50. I think 50, to be honest with you. If not 55.
Gary Rich says at Live, yes, always have a backup plan for the unexpected.
There is definitely some bearishness in the tape, but today it looks quite a bit more balanced at least.
Sunday driver says reduce your lifestyle expenses now.
Salim L. Wuthering says at UCI Knesset, I don't know. I find name that have Z in them condescending.
What?
Uzi Knesset says it's Salim L. Wuthering it isn't my real name. Does that help?
Oh, okay. Oh man. Okay. So I'm wondering just at the moment, it looks good, but I'm wondering if I'm being fooled by the range here. I mean, we have a pretty excessive range at the moment. It looks like they're going to break that
Sunday
high.
Driver says Sunday Driver is not
Yeah.
my real name, either.
What?
Salim L. Wuthering says at UCI Knesset okay I am out.
Wait,
You got me on that one. Uzi
your
Knesset says
guys'
it may
names
surprise you,
aren't.
but I'm also not the cartoon guy in my avatar either lol.
Oh my gosh. Wait, people use made up names on the internet? Wait, are you telling me that I could have made up a name that I didn't actually have to put my first name out there on my YouTube channel? I could have been, I don't know, what would have been a good name? I could have been Bill. I could have been John. I could have been Trader. I could have been another John. What? Guys, I feel so embarrassed.
Dan H says I just picked one. Lol.
Who knew? Fake names on the internet. What's going to be next? People on the internet are actually going to lie to me? Are people on the internet? Wait.
Sunday Driver says you could have been Trader Joe.
Yeah, Trader Joe.
305,790 says it's not my nickname either. Lol.
I don't think I would want a trademark battle though. My YouTube channel. No. Are you guys gonna tell me that like people lie on the internet now next, like or lie about their performance? That those guys that say that they're making money every day, that maybe they're not actually making money? I'm shocked. Oh, you know what, guys? We got to talk about this. Did you guys see this thing? Topic switch. We got to talk about this. I'm going to make a video about it this weekend. So I kind of want to see what your guys' initial thoughts are. From tradingschools.org, Ryan Masterin of Earn to Trade has been charged with fraud by the CFTC. In the verified complaint filed in the Western District of Texas on September 2nd is alleging that Masterin was partnered with various Israeli citizens and orchestrated a global investment fraud of $233 million. How did the scam work? According to the CFTC, Ryan Masterin was the lead developer for a binary options trading platform that was systematically rigged, where investors were nearly guaranteed to lose their entire investments. In particular, the CFTC is alleging that investors essentially believed that they were trading in live regulated exchanges with actual counterparties to their trades, except there were no legitimate actual counterparties. The actual counterparties to the trades were the owners of the trading platform who intentionally rigged the game. The bid-ask spreads were illegally widened to the investors' detriment, and profitable trades were illegally deleted, and the investors were driven into guaranteed losing trades through an elaborate auto trading scheme. Whoa. Like, here's the thing. I remember people warning against Ryan. And I was a little bit weary about, because we had a link from them. I deleted it now, but we had an Earn to Trade link where they would give you a discount. They reached out to me and they gave it to me. And so I'm like, okay, well, I want to be fair. And, they had a webinar. It looked like they were legit. And it does seem like that business itself is legit, even though I would really have to question the efficacy of it going forward now that Ryan is being charged and everything. But, so I put it on there. But, the fraud that he was committing is like a trader's worst nightmare, don't you think? Like, you always sit there and think, is it rigged against me? Like, is it going down? just because I bought it. You know, everybody thinks that at one point or another, don't they? Maybe it's just me. But, and here in this case with this binary options exchange, that is really what was actually happening. That is just so evil. So evil. And here I had, we had an affiliate link for them. I don't think that anybody actually ever clicked it. So there's that. That's good. Um, I feel like, man, uh, you know, I've been recommending against combines. Is that the earn to trade funding platform? Yes. So it seems to me that what was happening was they were making all of this money from this binary options exchange that was a total scam, and then using that to fund their earn to trade members. That is might have been what's happening. Like what they were funding people with money that was stolen. Basically, is just, oh my gosh, it makes me so mad. And I feel bad myself because I've been recommending against combines, but really I should have been I should have been adamantly pushing against them. I really is the reality. And jeez. And so we're gonna have to address this, I think, over the weekend. But it like really sours my opinion on combines. Even trade to win, or sorry, Top Step Trader, like they have they're a legitimate company and there's good people over there. But I really think that um, it's time for combines to go because they're attracting scammers and dishonest activity. And I'm seeing this on YouTube too. There's YouTubers out there that are, saying, "Oh, join the combine," and they're making money off of people joining the combine. And they're probably actually making money from time to time off of their trades too. But what they're doing is they're taking excessive risks, and eventually they blow their accounts. And so they're fooling people by taking excessive risks, making them think that, oh, getting funded is easy. But really, if you trade that way, getting funded is easy, but keeping it is hard. And I know there are some individuals in particular that have been funded multiple times and then blown accounts. And so this whole thing has me really soured, and I think it's time. I think it's time that I say something about it.
Gary Rich says, what's the point? Bad stuff equals bad outcomes. It's like saying all drivers are bad, so we ban all cars.
Yeah, but cars have use. Cars actually provide you value for your money. I don't believe that combines do. I think that now that you can fund your own account and trade micros, that combines are a complete waste. Maybe if you're trading oil, but like, man, mm. I think that the combines, at the very least, legitimate combines need to change their setup. So I just don't think it's worth $150 a month. I think it's ridiculous. And I feel bad that there was ever the possibility that somebody might have watched one of my viewers might have tried to go and get into earn to trade when I could have spoke more adamantly against it. It's kind of how I feel right now. Like if anybody of my viewers goes and gets funded at Top Step Trader because they're an oil trader or whatever, then that's fine. Because I'm not saying that they're not a reputable business, but um, I just want to make sure that they're going into it with both eyes open. And I would really like the combines to just change their business model, because charging people for a combine that, you know, people that are honestly aren't going to pass. There's no chance that they're going to pass. It's just kind of, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Get computers out, make paper trades. I mean, having the whole exchange rigged against you is very different from just there being algorithms out there. Oh, we got a pretty good run there. They're struggling a little bit at the moment. I think that probably their recovery of. Oh no, actually not. Okay, we gotta. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, I don't know what precipitated that. I'm a little concerned though, because that might have been news driver. Let's see. Do I see? Well, oil is turning down here. Either way, I really did not like what just happened there. So oh man, what did I end up getting? 40. Okay. Well, it wasn't the end of the world, but that should have been way better than what it was. Man, how quickly they've come back to lows. And they've got a little bit more room on the downside too. Okay, well, I'm going to hold on a second. I'm going to try and... No, maybe not. Maybe that was a bad idea. I was thinking I can try and wrestle it around. Oh, okay. I'm not going to touch it. It's getting a little crazy. Oh, send the link? Gary says, just do what you do. That's all that matters. But that is what I do, though. I mean, isn't it? Isn't that the thing that makes me unique? Is that I don't care about those things. That I'm not here to try and, I have a pretty stable life. I just want to trade and enjoy the community and be honest with you guys while everybody else is trying to, suck whatever they can off of you. That's what I try to be, at least. And my original video when I said, "Oh, I'm not going to do the combines anymore," it was one of my most popular videos. I don't know. I understand what you're saying, because I don't want it to come off like I'm being really I don't know, like I'm being a Karen or something like that. That's kind of my concern about it. But I feel like I want to say something about it, because especially with Earn to Trade, I don't know. Like my opinion is, I'm kind of more thinking about the top step trader guys, like, because I know that they're going to see it. I make a video, I know that they're going to see it, and I really think there's some really good guys there that can provide some really valuable service, I guess you could say. They have some really valuable services to give to new traders. And I feel like it's wasted in this combine situation. And I wish that they would revamp into something different. And if the company isn't willing to like change their model, which I totally understand why that would be hard to do, then I think that those good guys should leave and start something new. That's really what I'm thinking. Okay. So pretty aggressive down move here now. You can see here that it is in a spot that it'd be very difficult for me to trade. That's why I got out. So essentially what happened there was I realized that my position was not very good. Oh, it actually was 34. So now at 34, if I could let that run, that's probably might be okay. But what are the chances that they bounce back up to 34 again, right? And now the volatility is getting so much that I probably should just kind of sit back. I got a good trade on that one. I wish that I had been able to take a better profit on it. It's okay. It's still doing well. Not as well as probably should have done, but. Oh, send me the link. Here is the link that we're reading. Yeah. But the other thing is just the fraud that he was running just is I find really alarming. Like, they can make a whole exchange that's rigged against you. Like, oh man. Obviously, don't ever trade on any. This is why it's like I wouldn't trade anywhere other than the NYSE, Nasdaq, CME, CBOE. Like the recognized exchange. Like if it's a new exchange, I would be man. Before I entered this game or casino, that's what I think of it as. I knew it was rigged in some way, shape, or form. Even the regulators are ways of human DNA. Well, that it's not so bad that even if you actually do win, that they delete it. Like what? What? They just delete your trade because you actually finally beat them against their rigged game? That's some real bullshit right there, man. Oh man. I really just in the world of trading, I really can't think of anything worse. Can you think of something worse? Maybe I shouldn't ask that. You guys are going to come up with something that'd be way worse and terrifying to me. But in my mind at this moment, I'm like, that is like the most dishonest. That is like, you know, for traders, this is like the biggest sin you could commit against traders. Is my thinking right now? Rigging the exchange against them. Is the CME rigged against you? I don't think it is. I think that the exchange itself is a fair exchange, but there are some players out there that have some strategies, and the way that their strategies work make it pretty difficult, if not impossible, for a small trader to make money. I say pretty difficult because I don't know. I've been doing okay, so. Seth, are you trying to become a full-time trader someday, or is this more of a hobby? I don't think I ever want it to be full-time. No. So there's two things about this. Is one, I just can't trade all day. I take like these first 2 or 3 hours, like to the London close, and then after that, I really don't see much of a reason to do it. The kind of trading that I do requires way too much focus for that. You can see that even just that 2 hours, sometimes have a hard time focusing on the whole time, you know. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that I think that it's a lot of stress for your entire living to be at the mercy of your trading. So that's the next thing. And then the last thing is that I want to do other things with my time. It would be nice to be able to quit the job that I have, even though I like that job. And I certainly wouldn't quit unless I felt like I had finished the thing that we're doing. Okay, but it would be nice someday to be able to be free, spend more time focusing on making YouTube videos for you guys. It would be nice to be able to hire other people to help the channel make content. And it would be nice, to be able to do other jobs that maybe don't make as much money, but have, more interaction with people and are fun. Because I wouldn't want to be, hiding in my house all day. So no, I don't think that I ever want it to be a full-time thing, and I do treat it more as a hobby. It's true. I put on very, very little risk, and I realize that sometimes I'm going to trade badly because my edge is largely about interpreting the news and the situation and everything. And so I know that sometimes a market's going to come along that I just don't understand very well. Like the Brexit thing. I don't understand the Brexit thing very well. And I've had a really hard time trading Brexit, I would think the goal would be to trade for a full-time living someday you can control your own destiny. Nah. I mean, the thing is that if I got to that point where I was making millions of dollars off of my trading or whatever, um, I still wouldn't do it full time. That's what I'm saying. I would still want to have a side gig to keep my sanity. You gotta have something else other than trading. You know what I mean? There's a video on YouTube showing how some high frequency traders are able to front run order executions. It's so complicated the regulators can't figure out how to stop it. Yeah. Well, this just kind of goes back to my my other thing, which remember we were talking all about the level 2. Is like there's definitely some edge in using the level 2, but I have found that trying to just play it for ticks, like trying to play the 10-year for one tick, I haven't been able to make that work. And I feel that the high frequency trading has too much of an advantage over me in that situation. So it's better for me to go for longer trades that I can let run like I get in the E-mini. So I still love the treasuries and I still feel like I specialize in treasuries, but I'm just realizing that there's a lot of things about the treasuries that I just I'm not what is the word? I'm not on the inside, you know what I mean? Like, is there a big bond offering come up? And some traders, they might know that there's a possibility of that happening today and that it's a thing that they need to watch, and I'll have no clue. And how do you get in on that? Is there some news website that really has all of the the details about the bond offerings, or what's going on in fixed income, that I can subscribe to and get morning updates, and that be more knowledgeable about what's going on? I would love to do it, but I haven't found it. Haven't found it. That's the whole business model for HFT. They have no value. They provide no real liquidity. Well, there's different ways of trading at HFT, but like the Citadel thing where you pay for other people's order flows, you're totally right. They're just taking a tick away from you. Selling people's order flow should be illegal. I can't believe that that's legal. Here's a good documentary on front running. Yeah. I mean, there's so many. The thing is there's so many different strategies, right? And there's all kind of different things. Like what Citadel does by buying the Robinhood order flow. Yeah, that shouldn't be allowed. Shouldn't be allowed. Some of these other things, like the ones that they were really complaining about, was that a large institution could, send orders across multiple exchanges to buy up all of the shares of a certain thing, and they would all hit at once so that nobody else could react to it until it was done. And that to me is just the market, and I don't think that they should do anything about that. Hmm.
Vlad Stolyarov says yesterday's sell-off was a bit extreme.
Yeah. Well, I think that there was some margin calls. I think that sell off into the close yesterday was a lot of margin calls. Um, the thing though is I don't know. So far, they're not trying to push lower. I kind of think that they should make a new low for the week, but it hasn't happened yet. May as of yet happen. I'm not seeing news come through. S&P 500 taking a hit there. No key drivers news-wise has happened recently. Historically, as the Dixie appreciates, U.S. indexes see a negative reaction. We are seeing the dollar index strengthening just a bit. I haven't heard anything over my news squawk, by the way. Maybe I'm... No, I have it all set up. Well, whatever. Social media sells our data. We kind of don't complain about that. Well, some people are more concerned about it than others. I don't know. After they started going for gap fill, there was no support yesterday, so there's technically no trend, but daily painting bear flag, yeah. You see the way that it turns when it starts going sell? It starts to get panic, and the range increases so much. But that's where I feel like just like a sell right here. Okay, like maybe I could sell 33.28. Do you think that it will continue, or do you think that this will be one of those ones where they go into the low and they don't do it? So it's done that to me a lot lately, hasn't it? But I think I missed the easy trade, and I'm a little concerned about trading this area. It's a little too choppy now.
Vlad Stolyarov says probably trap under if they want to keep playing inside day.
So you know what? This is something else I find really telling about your guys' response to that whole conversation we just had, though, is that you really don't care about the combines themselves. You're all trading an account, and why bother with them? As it really does seem like we built the community that I intended to. I'm kind of been thinking like, okay, how do you continue to grow without ruining that? But now I'm going to make a video about the combines. The Ninja Trader 8 tech. Oh, actually, I have one today. Oh, I totally forgot. I have a video out right now. Dun, 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 dun. For Reddit. Backtesting technical analysis strategies from Reddit. Just one. Just this one. You know what? I want to change it. I want to change it and say this is EMA crossover. You have some good traders in this room. I agree. Lean hogs up 9%. Yikes! Now pork chops. What is with China all of a sudden buying all these commodities? What do you think's going on there, guys? I think that's one that we kind of need to keep an eye on, because when we realize what's happening, it's going to be like, ah. Or I probably should make a better thumbnail for this one, but I don't really care about it. It was for Reddit. I don't expect it to be a popular video. Okay, so let me give you guys a link to this one if you would like. You say Dixie is slightly weaker today. Well, at the moment, since the CPI news, it's been just a tiny bit stronger, but it hasn't really significantly moved. You're right. Okay. How do I want to? Oops. How did that happen? Oh, whatever. I'm sure I'll get filled.
Sunday Driver says, could China be rotating out of the US dollar and treasuries and into hard assets?
Maybe, but I don't think that they would be getting those unless they were actually going to use some.
Vlad Stolyarov says problem is a lot of retail bot dips and they don't want to look at their losses. Vlad Stolyarov says reality check comes after 50% is gone usually. Mario Simonetti says what do you think of Wall Street bets on Reddit?
Oh, it's a fun subreddit. It's mostly just for fun. There are some good posts there where you can learn some stuff. There's a lot of irresponsible behavior. Overall, I like it. I like Wall Street Bets a lot. Some of the other subs on there that are related to trading, I kind of have issues with. Not that there's anything wrong with the subreddit itself. It's just I read a lot of stuff from retail traders that is just so wrong, or at the very least is so diametrically opposed to what I believe about trading. So, whatever. Backtesting EMA crossover strategy from earlier this week. I should just say from earlier on this sub. Flare strategy. That's what I'm going to call it. Apply. Post. It picked a good thumbnail. Actually, I'm smiling. I'm happy. It's cool. It's cool. I dig. I dig. I should change the description here really quick.
Vlad Stolyarov says sell programs dominated yesterday and today. Vlad Stolyarov says there's no real buying that looks strong behind scenes.
Yeah, well, Vlad, I'm still seeing here in the E-mini, it's getting better, but it's been kind of hard to judge the volume because of the rollover. Yes, especially yesterday and earlier this morning, it was still difficult. But now we are seeing some significant absorption areas. It's still only like 2000s up in here. Oh no, wait, we're not on today. Okay, so we have traded 8,000 at 34.40, but it's not. It's usually 10 to 15 is when it starts to become significant, right? Donald Trump is going to be speaking at the 9/11 memorial here. Elon Musk's billions in Tesla stock options could ironically disqualify Tesla from the S&P 500. Really? Okay. Some Chinese guys tweeting stuff about Donald Trump. That's not possible. Okay. Well, anyways, I feel like I'm missing something now. Okay, I updated that video. It's up there now. I gave you guys the link, right? Yeah, I gave you guys the link. Gave you the link, posted it on the subreddit. Oh, yes, I know what I need to do. I need to copy it and go to where people were asking about it. And okay. I bet you there's going to be a lot of criticism on that post that I just gave you. There's going to be people like, "Oh, you didn't do a good job back testing," essentially. Apple touched 110 bouncing. Okay. The best stock is and Nikola, of course, down 12%. Ooh. So let's come back in here and look. Okay, so Tesla faded down there on the open, not below yesterday's low, but oh man, I feel like Tesla is way too high still. Like I'm surprised they're not falling harder, to be honest. Okay, Rio Tinto is up on the news that their CEO resigned. Huh. Okay. 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 Getcha. VIX is lower today. So it seems like we could get a positive run. Certainly getting some okay stuff here. Yeah, it's 8:30. That's actually wouldn't be a bad spot. 43. I think we'd have to be really, too slow. Yeah, I was thinking about it right there, but I think that I should just sit here.
Vlad Stolyarov says very strong bounce on AAPL ya. Vlad Stolyarov says expecting profit taking normally here.
Well, now that they're at the open, I think that they could try a stronger bounce again. They had a pretty okay one there earlier, and I really didn't feel like it was finished. And then that sell just kind of came out of nowhere, I don't know if this is the right prices. Okay. I could see 33.55 in the mini.
Live Action says where the salmon on display was from the genius told me chili. Live Action says at Gary Rich yes so much of our food is not from US. The guy at the fish store told me his boss said don't purchase chili salmon due to disease. I asked him.
Chili salmon. What? Oh, like salmon from Chile? Wait, you get salmon all the way from Chile? Eh, it's being awfully flaky on me here, isn't it? Hmm. Okay, that's a little better. So
Salim L.
quite a bit
Weathering
of a
says, "Oh
tug
my
of
god,
war
I just
here.
got humbled by Sethi. He told me combines aren't worth it. Sethi, you are legit."
Wait, what? Are you planning on doing a combine? I don't. This is a pretty tough tug of war here. So
Vlad Stolyarov says, "Watch how deep this pullback will be."
I'm not too happy about not getting filled up there.
Salim L. Weathering says, "I was planning on doing Lilo." Vlad Stolyarov says
Oh,
there's a
that's right.
sequential profit taking signal 9 bars.
I'm telling you, you just the situation right now is you trade micros, and if for some reason you can't trade micros, then I'm not so sure that trading, you know, uh, well, I don't know what you do. To be honest, I have to think about that one a bit. Damn it. Now, now it's telling me to flip. This one's probably gonna not work out either. Yeah, it's bouncing right off of it. Okay. Well, how much did I? Okay. I feel dumb about that trade because I said, oh, it's a tug of war, and I was thinking like I can get out. It was like too late. I'm noticing this happens to me a lot, right? I'm in the trade. Um, I don't manage it well. I'm slow to manage it correctly. I get in early, but I don't get out early.
Gorilla Digits says, "I feel like Top Step is a great learning tool for new traders, and you can have skin in the game without too much downside."
You can have skin
Vlad
in the game
Stolyarov
with the
says,
micro
"Flipping
contract.
opinions is worst after you miss entry."
Yeah, you can have skin in the game as with the micro contract. That's the problem. I just really don't feel that they provide value anymore. And now that we've had that the earn to trade um, uh, founder has been indicted for fraud, I think that you have to factor that in. I don't want to imply that what Top Step is doing is shady or anything, but I feel like that it's time that we as a community say that it's time to move on from combines, especially with these YouTube channels that promote the combines. It's starting to really bother me.
Salim L. Weathering says, "How much for the micro contract?"
50, 50 per contract, essentially.
Scoop says, "If you lose you have to pay another $100 plus just to fake
Yeah,
trade
exactly.
again."
I just don't feel like you get in value out of it. Value for your money.
Live Action says I knew a guy who was an oil prop trader. He did very well. He
Well, there you
left.
go.
Now trades his private account and his family is financially comfortable. His charts looked like spaghetti.
Indeed, these people that have been trading combines and claim to be successful with it, then the question is, okay, so if you've made so much money from it, then take that money and open up your own account. Yeah, man. Tried messing around a little bit, and I really regret it. That's all. Okay. There's just been way too much fiddling around in this area. Of course, it goes all the way back down. But would they fill me? Yes, it would. All right, well. But it's still kind of being, I don't know. Looks like they're going for another sell. Apple went up too fast. I don't know. I could have held that trade, but I really don't think that I had a good trade thesis there when I took that. I think I was starting to get into just trading for the hell of it. Same with that one where I lost. That was bad. Right there. That shouldn't have happened. Hmm. Continue to see them place the volume in spots that I don't really think are the best spots. I think 38 is just a tad too high. The cumulative delta is much harder to read too. So you see this guy down here? Oh, he moved it.
Live Action says didn't the flipper start with $750 and become the largest bun trader in the
I
world?
never heard that before. Never heard that before.
Vlad Stolyarov says staying greenish. Live Action says I read a story of a guy from Africa who saved for a year to open a trading account with $500. Today he is a multimillionaire.
What can happen? Mm-mm. Oh my gosh. Wait, are we still like OBS just like closed itself? Or did I close it? I don't know. Are we here? So weird. I'm sorry about that, guys. It's been a day, hasn't it? So I was hoping for 35. Maybe they still go for it. I don't know. At the moment, it's kind of been bouncing. Yeah. Oh, okay. Man, I'm not. All of a sudden, I'm not having very much luck with the semi. So here again, I'm not trading off of a news catalyst, so it should be rangy. But man, okay. What? What the fuck? What the fuck? Well, I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what that was, dude. There's some news hit there. Like, what the heck? Well, there is this Turkey Greece news, but I don't think that's what's moving. That was weird. That's some crazy volume, and they're buying it. I don't know. Okay, now I have to buy another contract here. Oops. Oops. Mm. Oh man, oil is oil. The thing in oil is gonna be next week, right? Oh my gosh, this is so scary. Okay, it's a little better. Oh, Donald Trump was speaking. Maybe that's what it was. I might have missed a little spot there. That's okay. Okay. Quite a bit of drama, man. I must have been because of Donald Trump's press conference. Oh, come on. I really hate it when I see prints into it and it didn't fill. Okay. It makes me feel a little better. Okay. That fixed all of our boo-boos. You think we could go for the high of the session again? So once again, we come to the open and I'm getting all manner of tug of war. I had the right idea. I don't know why that one was so hard to get. This right here in particular, I found very disappointing. But now I got room. I think I should try and just let this one run and see if they go for the high. So I I was starting to think that the market had consolidated and was turning into a range. And so I was playing the positionings off of the range. And that time it worked out. It's just it took them a lot longer to respect it than I thought it would. So that kind of suggests to me that there are some traders that are trying to make something happen but aren't having a lot of success at doing it, right? And I don't know what all of that noise was at the bottom. It might have been because of Donald Trump's press conference, though. So maybe I think there was a bit of luck in that. There's a bit of luck in that. Now, if they go for the high, then it kind of changes the situation. So we go for the high. I think 33.55, an overnight position, is a good spot to test. But you can see that buyers are having a little bit harder of a time pushing prices their way here now. I think they kind of need some of the shorts to bail here. Okay. Well, that certainly did it. He's insistent, isn't he? That guy might blow up here. Let's see. Somebody swept in with a short and now they're getting back above it. I think that they pressure this. We could get some more stops. Yeah. Not bad. Didn't really completely continue through. They might. Should be patient. Think I'm getting myself a little anxious today. Okay. Well, that was him getting out. Swept down, he swept up. Oh, really? Dude, they're huge on my screen. On my screen, that text is like 4 times bigger than what I normally read. Ugh. They made it bigger for you guys. And Salim says it's too small. Ugh. I should just go back to make everything small so that I can put more DOMs up. That's what I should do. Okay, so a bit of distribution going on here. Nothing too significant yet, though. Maybe we might get a pullback. So if we think this is going to continue, maybe here around 47 might be an okay spot. Or maybe the open. Or what I have listed as the open. I'm not sure if that was really the... In calls, we trust the mother of all call option manias. Says the marketeer. I really love that Twitter account, the marketeer. I don't know if it's just one guy or what, but they do a good job. Who needs a wall of worry if we have Cash Mountain? A couple of things I'll need to read later, I think. Okay. Pushing the higher end of the range now. Not seeing like crazy absorption, but not really pushing it either. Oh, by the way, I never noted that the treasuries did eventually get through that 16 and went higher. Yeah, you're not well, I mean, without the call, without SoftBank messing around, I don't think that you're gonna get the mania that you would see sometimes, you know. I still think we could have an okay stop run if we break this 33.54 though. And then I want out right there if they do it. Well, actually, I don't want out right there. I want to let it go. So, and then if I get a stop run though, then I think I'd take my profits because I was right and the thing happened and you're done. There we go. Well, that was not as dramatic as I thought it would be. Well, they could push up again and maybe I'll miss out on it, but I think that that's where I want to get out for me. I didn't really. I looked up there and I'm like, well, I want 33.55. I want 33.55. I thought that the stop run would go through that. They could do it again. I'm just saying it didn't behave the way that I wanted it to, so I got out. Freaking Tesla. I just don't get how they hold these prices. How do you justify it? You know what the deal here is in Tesla is they've got hodl going on over there. Those retail guys in Tesla, it is very difficult to convince them to give up on that one. They're going to need quite a bit more pain. Well, let's look at how this all went. There's these trades down here. I mean, okay. This one was disappointing too. So I mismanaged this one. Actually, I guess I kind of mismanaged this one and this one. Oh, and this one. Oh my gosh, guys. Seth, you gotta step it up. I know it's a Friday, but you can do better than that. But if I start managing it harder, will I not get the runners as often? I also think in some of these, like in these cases, I kind of thought, okay, they're not going to get to 35. And then they did, but when they got there, it was like they went through it, and I didn't really catch that one very well. So I don't know. Even though it came out profitable, wait, how many trades did I take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 plus 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So probably half of that gone in commissions too. So this is not the best trading today, but it's Friday and I did it on a sim. But I think when you step it up a little bit, you need to be a little more patient in getting those right spots. Because I'm getting the overall move that I want, but there was a couple of trades in there that just didn't really make much sense. And there's a couple of trades in there that I really just could have been more patient. And there's a couple of trades in there where once I was in it, I should have exited faster, or I should have managed my stop more aggressively. So would not consider that today good trading, even though it came out positive. Okay, so we still got 30 minutes left to yap. Tropical storm Paulette expected to become a hurricane Saturday or Sunday night. Nomura warns volume control funds continue to drive incremental sell flows. Okay. Well, I have to say, we reached the buy areas. It's pretty lackluster. I think we could go short here. I don't know if this price is necessarily awesome, but probably anything above 33.50 is okay. But that kind of gives you a pretty wide area of uncertainty, right? 5 points. Probably not great trade. And what do I see? I still see the dollar index pushing up. Oil recovered big time. That's probably a big driver here. I see a lot of longs on right now. So if it does go short, they could go back to the lows easy. Easy. But it's pretty equal. It could, it's a range. So at the moment, I think it's kind of, it favors the short both ways. It's just a question of where you can actually take it. Because what if they go for another new high, Actually, 33.51 would have been the spot. Could also take the open. We got some time left. This one is not moving fast, so well, there's been some dramatic moves, but then the tape actually is kind of more of a battle, isn't it? I think we need to watch for that 230 Eastern time kind of movement to see if we get another late day fade into the the end of the week. That would be the scenario that I think would be really negative, you know? Okay, so here it is. I'm going to take 1. No. Not behaving right. Not even 4. Okay, 4 ticks. It looks like it's attracted to that spot. Yeah. Well, that was a little better. Just not trusting myself today, am I? I don't know what my problem is. That was a good trade. Yeah, there could still be some bounciness in this, though. Yeah, see that. For a scalp, that was good. I don't know if the larger trade that I'm trying to make here is working. So the larger trade is to go back to 40. Yeah. I think one of my problems is that I just don't feel very confident in this kind of action, you know? I don't necessarily. So, thanks. I don't trade NQ. NQ is scary as hell. No, so the places that I'm picking has a lot more to do with a order flow model. Well, there you go. There you go, Vlad. No, I have a proprietary model that I use to try and determine positioning, and that's how I was determining that they might turn sell again. But when I'm looking at the level 2 and the order flow, I'm mostly kind of looking like in the E-mini to see, okay, there's a range right here. So if I wanted to buy it, there's 45, and then I'm always look like one or two deviations beyond that, because what'll happen is like this is the guy's position, and then they're going to push through him. So if I really wanted to buy, okay, 44 right there probably was the best one, right? If you really wanted to buy, I don't know about this spot. This spot is a little bit more vague, but you get that. You can kind of see the spot that they're trying to hold, and then they have like a second spot, and I go to the second spot. I'm not so sure if that like actually has edge or anything to that. That's just the way that I've been doing it. Seth's moneymaker NQ. He doesn't want to reveal his secret. Yeah, I'm over here on another screen, trading the opposite of all of my trades on NQ, but I haven't been telling you. Not really, but. But here's the little. I guess you couldn't see it over here. Here's how I'm using what I'm using, right? So do you see? I knew that there was positions overnight at 55. And so that's why I was expecting them to move up to there and go through. And then when they came short of it a little bit, I took my profits because that's not right. And then they came back to 33.50. I said, okay, so there's a good chance that they're going to go for this, if not this, if not this. And then you've kind of got this in the lows, and then there's a spot way below that too. It's a spot way below that to that. And that's basically just kind of showing me based on the amount of positioning out there potential places that it could go, right? But it's not very predictive. That's why I really gotta feel like I have something. So like the context of this one is that I don't see a whole lot of news, but there is a lot of activity, and it's kind of like the range is kind of consolidating a little bit. So that's why I was fading it here, because I'm expecting it to just do this. So, as it's Friday, Friday's a big deal. So far, it seems like a bad day to scout totally out of tune. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on what kind of a strategy you're using, HF, you know? Um, Probably these crazy guys that take like that have really huge stops and things and take a lot of little trades are probably doing pretty good because there's just been a lot of all over the place, you know. For me with the news, I've been able to catch runners. I mean, I've been able to eke something out. I really shouldn't have been trading after this. Even some of these were a little questionable, to be honest with you. Um, this kind of flip around was kind of a weird thing. Anyways, see all these disasters of a trade. But then I caught this and it was okay. But I don't really feel like it was great trading. No. So yeah. I don't like it when it starts to move around randomly like that. Okay, then get a new high there. So it looks like somebody turned the faucet on. Look, good grief, that was a strong move up, wasn't it? They went to the buyer's cost basis and bought. So now we're looking at a situation where they could try. Now I think what I'd be looking for is this. Dun, 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 right? It's a little late. You kind of miss the move unless you want to take the stop run here. Way they're testing that though, I'm not so sure that's a good spot. Maybe 54. That's again where I'm saying like there's a spot there. And I don't know. I don't think that one makes much sense because if they could pull back, I think they could pull back a little bit more than that. Okay, so they squeezed it for sure. Squeeze it, and then he got shoved back down. Well, oil is still running well, so oil is going to help. Gold not really doing anything. Dollar is moving up a little bit. That one's still kind of hard to tell if it's really doing anything or not. I'd like to see gap fill at 33.81. Well, on the upside, the next kind of areas I start to see are up in the 65 area. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be a pretty incredible trend if that's where it turned. I don't know about that. The last 6 days were scary but required. I don't think it's over, to be honest. So my thinking here on the longer term is this. With the election coming up, why would you want to put a ton of money at risk now? Especially after what just happened. You know? Like a lot of participants are going to be washed out. I think it's going to be really, really hard to make a new high on the year without some sort of a major change in the presidential race. I just I just don't see the risk reward really being favorable to it. So I think that we could continue to see random bouts of excessive bearishness, you know, and then kind of pull back a little bit and okay, it's all okay, and then you know. I haven't gotten very many tweets from traders on Twitter today. Okay. See, so there's a 3053 was where I was like, okay, maybe if you wanted to play that, you could get it here. Let's see now, are they going to turn back down and go back to 3350? Because they kind of got a little away from it here. Can you backtest news? Kind of. I don't think that I could write an algorithm to do the way that I trade the news. Could certainly do some parts of it, but I think it's way more complicated than that. That's kind of the point too, right? Yawn. I'm yawning. I'm putting you to sleep again today, aren't I? I don't know what the deal was yesterday. I was like way out of it yesterday. So you know from experience you've got edge. Well, hold on. Some world news stuff. I think that we've developed a pretty solid run of performance here over the summer, but I feel like that we still should keep going. I don't think you're ever gonna hear me say I definitely have edge XYZ. I can enumerate to you where I think I have edge and what I'm trying to do, but I think the message should always be that past performance is not indicative of future results. So we've been doing really well over the summer, and we've been able to continue it in September overall. But there's been a lot of setbacks. I still have some couple of problems in spots, and the market is changing. So let's let it go out a bit. I can say pretty confidently that the market reacts to news. So sometimes your reading of the news has to be a lot more nuanced than many people want it to be. But I'm very confident that markets move on news. I think that they move on news much more reliably than they move on any kind of technical signal. And again, I wouldn't say that you can't find a technical edge, just that I haven't found them. People will share stuff with me, and I'll usually go through it and be able to point out why it doesn't actually have the edge that they think it does. The one that I ran into the other day, somebody posted a back test. It actually looked really good until you realized how long he was holding his trades. From a risk-adjusted perspective, it wasn't very good trading at all. It was like 0.5 Sharpe ratio. That's not good. So, yeah. Trading Floor Audio, how Comeback Kid Sweden got the last laugh on coronavirus. Infections and deaths fall to record lows, says the Daily Mail. The Swedish economy has seen a milder downturn than in much of Europe as shops and restaurants stayed open. Okay, so there they turned back down. See if they really turn or not. I have to say, if you see that chart in my lower right, it's behaving according to the 10-minute simple moving average pretty well right now. I'm not saying it's going to continue to do that. I just find it interesting. Oh my gosh, guys. I feel so conscious because yawns are contagious. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. That's what she keeps saying. It really isn't. It's just not. Salim says, this is the worst beach day I've ever had. So much wind. Seth wins. I tell you what, it's just been a long week, I guess. We're going to make a video tomorrow. Maybe today. Maybe today while the kids are out. I'll find some time during lunch to do it or something. I think I still got some work to do, though. But it's just been a long week, I guess. Anyways, I think that future performance is dependent on the situation, and every situation is different. And our ability to actually interpret and really know what's going to happen, especially on longer time frames, is quite limited. But there are situations where we get new news or whatever it is, where the market isn't efficient enough to have taken it out yet, and that's where we can kind of find a little bit of edge. And that's where we get results. You're not relying on past performance to guide you on what your future trades should be. You're relying on the information that we just got. Well, they are breaking highs, but it's kind of slow. That could be consolidation. I'm sure that somebody will see it that way at least. Oh man, should we go out and look for some monitors again? I think that's what we need to do. Bum, 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 bum. Monitor 27. Marketplace. Sort by date listed. 450. Yeah. Not much new there. I had one that I found that was I thought would be sufficient, but they didn't respond back to me. No, actually, let's go double check on that. Yeah, no, still haven't seen a response back on that one. So. Maybe I need to not be so. Oh, here, this one. I've seen this listed before, but he actually listed what it was. 4K monitors. Like a 4K IPS. Tasty. I like that. I could switch that. I could put this monitor over here, and I could put the 4K monitor over here, and I'd be able to see more of your messages. Yes. Did I put that one? Yes, I did. I'd like to get one closer to $100, but okay. Probably going to be a 1080, but let's find out. It is. Okay. What's this one? You know, the dumb thing is that I don't really care if it's 1080 versus, you know, the 1440, but they should all be the same resolution. So I don't want to get the 1080p ones. Yeah. That's nice. And an IPS panel and everything too. Kind of want it, to be honest with you. There's 50. They could go back to 3346 again. Oh, we could try searching eBay, I guess. Sure. Probably be hard to get under 200 though. At least for new ones. What about auctions? Yeah, 120. Hey, that one's not bad actually. Might look at that later. Ending soonest. What? Think Vision, Lenovo. Why is that one not liked? I hope this isn't going to be a dull day. Well, we got the London close coming up here. If they don't, I don't know. I'm still thinking about, like, you know, if we're not like up on the day after 2:30, if they get that ugly sell again. Well, that's a nice monitor if you were able to somehow get that for $100, but there's no way that nobody's going to bid on that in 2 days. Or maybe there's something wrong. Oh, it's for parts. It's not working. Oh, boo. Oh, boo. Yeah. Yep. You're right, Vlad. It's for parts. What about this one? Yep. This Sync Vision is for parts as well. So what's wrong with it? For parts is not working. Blah blah blah. Crashing screen during shipping. Yeah, that sucks. What was the one that was ending really soon? What was that one? That one wasn't for parts, was it? Yeah. But how much are they asking for shipping? That's one thing that you always got to do. $72 shipped. Yeah. Yeah. No thanks. No thanks. That's still your best. Okay, there's the open. Yeah, they did it. Should I have taken that one instead of looking at monitors? Well, that was an ugly sell, guys. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. That was a bit much, wouldn't you say? Yeah. I don't know about this, guys. Every time there's a stop run, you wonder if there's a big seller there again. Yeah. Well, you know what's happening is hold on. We got to get out of this first. I think I know exactly what's happening, and it's actually kind of funny. No, well, I'll be gone in about 7 minutes. You want a fox? I tell you what, pet foxes are something else. I'll tell you that much. Watch, now that I'm out, it's just gonna run, huh? Oh, maybe not. Hey, for once it didn't actually like go. Oh my gosh, foxes. Yeah, that's a fox. You seen the ones that are like speckled and stuff though? Why do I always look at myself? I should be looking over here. You seen the ones they're like speckled and they make all sorts of weird noises too. I don't think I'd be able to handle a fox from the noises. They're kind of, but you got some property and you can let them outside. They can be fun. Okay, so here's what I think is happening. We realize zoom in here. Actually, let's just make it like full size, full screen. Okay, so you notice how we've got this pretty standard spread and how many times they're going over across it since they open here. And look, every time that they do it, and that one's maybe a little different. Here, this as well. But you notice that every one of those big ones is touching those lines at the very least. I guess almost every bar has been touching it. The only ones that haven't really been like these. Good grief. Moved on me. These and these. Maybe this. So what's happening is you've got a decent amount of positions on look that's pretty equal. Maybe slightly more longs. So what's happening is buyers are buying it. It goes up. It comes back to their price. They panic and sell it. So then sellers take it. It comes down. It comes back to their price. They panic and sell it. I think that it's just crossing between that. I don't know if you want to call it the spread or what, but we should come up with a better name for that area. Yeah. Now, the question is, I think the problem is that if I see something go like this again, then if they come down to here, which, yeah, if they were to come down here, I think that you would see a lot of panic again because, let's minimize this. Let's think about this from a longer term perspective. Okay. From what he was just saying there, from what Vlad was just saying there. You know, all the way through this, yeah. Buyers think they're invincible. There's all of these ugly trades, and they just bought it. They'd buy it every time. Really, this one too, right? And it would go higher. Okay. Cool. And then what happened? Then this happened. They tried buying it somewhere up in here, and it just completely fell apart. So that's the first crack. Oh, maybe stonks don't always go up. Okay. But then they're going to be coming in and they're going to be saying, well, we're going to buy it in here and it's going to go up tomorrow. Oh, really? Yeah. See, they tried to do it. They tried to do it right there. And what happened? They got crushed. So they tried to do it again. They got crushed. Yeah. They try to do it again. At the moment, it looks like they're getting crushed. But see, now if we zoom back out here a little bit, then we think about that same pattern, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. We'll do it like that. Okay. So here we finally got a lower low. Okay. But you can see there's still this. There's still this and this. Right? So if we were to, let's say, close the day on the lows, or maybe even low of the week, right here. Okay, that brings us to this line. Something like that. Okay. Really, really hard for anybody doing technical analysis once you get below this thing right here, right? It's really hard for anybody to sit down and say, oh, it's just a pullback and we'll be, because some people are thinking, okay, there's a higher, there's that, and they're thinking, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and then it'll be new highs, right? So it's kind of like an inflection, but it's like these inflection points. Every step, I think, every step you take, more technical analysis people are disappointed, right? Until you get to a certain point, and I'm just saying I think that the point is somewhere in between here where the technical analysis guys give up. You know? That's what I'm thinking right now. 9:30. Well, that last trade didn't. They kind of moved down, but not really very far from where we were, so that's okay. It made back some commissions, I guess. They're not going for it yet. Where was it, by the way? 33, 46. 46. Yeah, we could have gotten the 20. We could have gotten the 2 points, 4 points, whatever. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's, with anything, it's going to be a combination of things, right? Like SoftBank coming in was a huge driving factor, but it wasn't just SoftBank, right? It was like SoftBank would come in and create like this rush, and then everybody in retail is sitting there watching it and just can't help but click in and follow them. Which you notice that I tried to avoid taking those on the way up because I felt like it's following. Well, sometimes following works, but it's not something that I like making a habit of. So it's kind of, I think it was like all of the above, you know? So I keep coming back to that in my mind in terms of trading is like, we want everything to fit in nice little boxes. Like, well, as much as you can give. The further back it goes, the better it is, really. But, I mean, if you just send it to me to review, I don't know what I would tell you unless there's like specific something, either something really stands out to me or there's something that you're trying to discover from it. So it would be better if you had a question to go along with it. Okay, there's a little bit better of a move there. So now, when I took that, I was a little late, but I was looking for 40, and they just piled right through it. So let's see if they go for low. Not particularly. So here's the issue that I have with GC. from the perspective of the way that I trade, is that GC is a risk asset. It's speculation, and the things that are affect it, like supply and stuff like that, news, it's kind of questionable. Okay, then that would be a great question. We'll look. How much time do you have? Do you have like 3 months? 3 to 6 months to really. I mean, you don't need 3 to 6 months to know like if you should go live with it, but like, if you have less than that, then my caution to you would just be that you need to be careful because the market could change on you. I don't know. Why do you? Can you send it to me on Discord right now? We could look on it before we end the stream, but I got to end here in like 10 minutes. Be interesting if they go for a new low today. That would get ugly. Yeah. I tell you what, changing your position sizing is definitely a useful strategy. You notice that, yeah, you notice that I catch a lot of these ones where I have two contracts on it and then it just runs, and that's why I end up positive a lot of these days. A lot of these days it would be more of a wash without that. To really get winners off of that, I'd have to be more aggressive at taking profits. Which probably on some of these today I probably should have been. These other ones I was a little bit too aggressive, but what did you see yesterday that Portnoy was basically getting margin called? The bank told him you have to write a check. You're either gonna have to sell something or you're gonna have to write a check. So he sold stuff instead of writing the check. I don't want to call him an idiot. I mean, I want him to listen to me, so I shouldn't call him an idiot. I feel like that what he's doing is a little irresponsible. I think that if I could talk to him, I would say, listen, you have a really big pedestal, so is that what we call it? Pulpit. You have a really big pulpit, man. You have a really big pulpit. Be responsible with it. Do good things with it. And don't tell people to do reckless things. That's the first thing that I'd say to him. And then the second thing that I'd say to him is to really be successful in trading, you want to understand as much about the market as you can. Don't just trade a pattern, like always buy it. Understand what's going on in the market. Yeah, he's good for social media, but he shouldn't let people lose because of his stupidity. I don't think he'll ever see my video. I don't think it's popular enough to really reach him, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Something that I find interesting is that if I go on Reddit and I search, I'll just show you. Let's see what we get. So I haven't looked today. Trying to buy the dip there a little bit. Yeah, see, I've been searching for it. It comes up there first. Sort by past week. So I see stuff from cryptocurrency subreddits, but other than that, they don't post about it in day trading. They don't post about it in Wall Street bets. I'm kind of starting to wonder. I see it on see it on Zero Hedge, but I almost wonder if they post it because they're trying to help promote him. So now I'm starting to think, oh, maybe he's not actually as widespread known as I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Why is it that the altcoins are the ones that care? It's so weird. That's so weird. Natalia Portnoy. What the heck? I will send in a moment. Okay. Let's see if we have. I don't know if we have enough time now, but you just do it. We'll do it on Monday. I'll tell you. I'll talk about it on Monday. Oh, somebody responded to our day trading video. I back tested this too and got similar results. Cool. Let's Martin Goel into lows and NQ. Remember what I said is they're crossing, so I would expect them to come back up and do this again. That's probably the most likely scenario. Then if they do this and they make a lower low, then maybe we can get some crazy. You only got a week of data? Well, Salim, don't be too anxious to lose money. So I gotta warn you. When you start going live, you're always gonna lose a bit. Like there's always gonna be that kind of thing. So here's why I think it works. You know, people always talk about you have to pay your dues. I think the reason that you have to pay your dues is because we as individuals want to believe that we're amazing. I have to keep reminding myself that I'm not, because sometimes when I do well, I think, oh man, Seth, you are just so cool. But I know that in reality is like, you know, I'm not necessarily a popular person, right? This channel could be a lot more successful if I was more personable, right? There are other channels that started way after me and have way more subscribers, right? We want to think that we're so great and I've had some success. It's because I did a good job. It never crosses our mind that, oh, I was just lucky. You know what I mean? And so why do you have to lose? Because the losing is what forces you when you lose, you have to face reality. At a certain point, you have to sit down and you have to say, okay, what I'm doing isn't working. So why doesn't it work? Is it me? Does it really just not have edge? And usually the case is it really just doesn't have edge. And then you have to search, right? It's that adversity breeds innovation. So you always have to go through that. So if you start an account, here's what I would say is like start an account and just trade at sim for a while. Just trade at sim for a while. And then if you really are getting really strong results over multiple markets, then, you know, you can start to dip your toes in, and you don't have to go like all in and out, right? You can come in and you can say, well, today, I don't know if the opportunities are as good, so I'm not going to take a live trade. I last 380 to 90 on bad days, mostly because of stupid stuff like holding losers too long. Half trades that are losers are ones that had 50-50 probability and luck ran out and turns against you, and you let it run against you more and more. Yeah. Because we try and save ourselves from the mental anguish. I was watching, you know, that he talks about that in must be time for me to go. The guy that writes the books about mental edge, and he talks about mental anguish and how as a child you want something, but then you. So my son, he likes cords. Any cord he can find, he'll grab it. And I'm like, no, cords are dangerous. Not allowed to hold cords. And I've had to take him away from him. So there's something I'm okay with him. So I don't know what to do because I don't want him to think that cords are okay to play with. but I don't want to cause all of the mental anguish. Oh, it's so hard. What do you do? And then I think about it when I take a trade and I was, oh, that pain. Like, let's just not do that anymore, right? Let's just make good trades and not have to feel bad about the awful trading that you did. I did that today. You see how I react to it too? It's like, yeah, The Disciplined Trader by Mark Douglas. That's it. You see the way that I reacted to it, right? I was like, well, I'm kind of making dumb trades here anyways. I just, they were bad trades. It was bad. I took them. I didn't lose money on it, so that's good. But I'm not happy with it. Shouldn't be. Still worked things out, but even I do it. All right. But anyways, look at that. Stacking at 33.36. We need to move this down and look at before we go here. Ooh my, look at that. Somebody trying to build a wall. That's interesting. QuantiQuant says, yep, intro is all about removing childhood habits and to trade better. Yes. I think it's a good book. I the problem that I still have with it, I don't know if Mark Douglas ever make money from trading? It kind of seems to me like he discovered how to get the mental edge, but that he still didn't have success. We need a good programmer to make a daily loss, a weekly loss ninja trader. Not sure what you mean by that, Tommy, but I did some back. I want to do a lot more back testing. I'm starting to think now that I should split these out because I have a bunch of stuff that I want to show you guys that they don't actually work, but I think I'm just going to split them out into separate videos. We'll see how well this one does, but so far this one has been doing pretty good, so it's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, if it gets 100 views today, then there we go. Maybe I should come up with a better thumbnail for it, though. All right, guys, I got to go. It is work time. So see you guys next week. Stay profitable.